I always clap. Gotta clap. Gotta power clap when we start these things. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is T with D.
And A.
Glad to see you on this beautiful Tuesday. I hope your weekends were well. And we want to start off right away talking about this particular tea that we're drinking today. It is called Peach Apricot from the Saugatuck Tea Company. And they do have a website. It's www.saugatuckteacompany.com. And this is made with luxury black tea with pieces of papaya, peach, apricot, blackberry leaves, sunflower, and jasmine petals.
That sounds wonderful.
So yeah, this is amazing. So papaya is really good for digestion. Peach and apricot are actually, the pits are actually good cancer fighters, believe it or not, if you grind them up. And blackberry leaves are full of antioxidants and are really good for some of the female issues that we tend to have. Helps keep things regular. It's good for the blood. It's good for healthy red blood cells. Sunflowers. Oh my gosh, sunflowers are amazing. Now, did you know that the sunflower can actually absorb 2 times its own energy weight in radiation? So if you are near anything that's radioactive, like say the big telephone poles, electrical lines, anything like that, plant a ton of sunflowers. Mm-hmm. They will absorb anything out of the soil, and the roots go super, super deep into the soil, so they absorb a whole lot.
They've been doing that around here actually with some of the places where they had the old GM plants and things like that too, because they needed to remediate the soil, so they actually started planting sunflowers all through the area, and it actually remediates the soil from all of those toxins from the automotive plants.
So imagine what it can do for your body. Absolutely.
Exactly.
And jasmine petals are very good for beauty. They're good for the skin. They're good for the white blood cells. They're good for
calming.
Very calming. Yeah, it's a very awesome little flower, and that's why it's so popular. A lot of women in the Eastern Asian countries believe that it's an elixir of beauty, and it helps keep them youthful and helps with their longevity. So
we'll need to do one on herbs at some point too.
Yeah,
we'll have to talk about that too. Yeah,
I love them. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out really quick. So if you are a tea person and you enjoy a specific type of tea, let us know what it is, and we will try it and let you know what we think about it. And if you sell tea yourself, send us a sample, and we would gladly promote your tea. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just email us, and we'll give you the information to where you can send the sample to, and look forward to hearing from you on that. So Angela, what are we talking about today?
Chakras. Or chakras if you're in the native tongue of it. So
it always sounds weird to me when people say chakras.
Yeah.
Like the science TV channel, what is it called? Science. Oh, blast! I can't think of it. They use the cartoons all the time. Science TV. I can't remember. Anyway, they say chakra all the time. I'm like, that sounds so weird. We're so used to saying chakra.
Right, and that's typical of any type of word when it goes into another country's language. You know, there are little changes to it. So I know when I first learned about the chakras, I think it was 1992 is when I started really learning about the chakras and starting to delve into it. And when I first read it, I was like, is that chakra? Well, I thought chakra, and then in school, that's what they started teaching us was chakra. It wasn't until not that long ago that I actually found out it was chakra, because there's this big event in Tibet called Kali Chakra, and I would love to go to that.
Oh,
we should plan a trip to Tibet someday.
We're going to
together.
manifest that.
Let's do that, because
Absolutely.
that's the top of my list of places to go. But Kali Chakra is this wonderful big event, and so but anyway, there's also a lady that does chakra dance, and she actually pronounces it in the native tongue, chakra dance. If you're interested, once you learn with us a little bit about the chakras, you might be interested in chakra dance, which is where you can like dance and move and open them up. So what are the chakras? The chakras are energy centers. They spiral. And so we've talked in the last episode about electromagnetic energy and the fact that everything that has a life force has electromagnetic energy. Well, every person, every animal has chakras. It's interesting with animals. Cats, they're not in the same straight line that they are on people. And actually, even with people, it depends on what you're studying from. You know, the Hindu tradition of the chakras is a little bit different from the American version. There's several different versions, but they all basically have the same meaning. They all tie in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
There are 9 main chakras. You have the origin chakra, which is around your feet, the universal protection chakra around your knees, the root chakra, which is your grounding to this earth, right in the pelvis, the perineum. Then you have the sacral chakra, which is the womb chakra, and moving up to the solar plexus. Solar plexus is like your center chakra, because that's right with, it even says it in the name, solar. So if you think solar plexus, well, that the sun is the center of our universe, the solar plexus is the center of you. And then you come up to the bridge of the heart chakra, right above that. And then some people will talk about the higher heart chakra too. So depending on which tradition you're studying under, the throat chakra, which is all about expressing yourself. The third eye chakra, which is where the ESP comes from, all of that intuitive sense, that's tied in with the pineal gland as well. And then the crown chakra, which connects you to divinity. But each of those has a front and each of them has a back. How do you use the chakras, and do you focus on them in your daily life? Or
Absolutely. So this is where Angela and I differ, because she does the 9, I do the 7. Because I believe that the 7 main chakras, 7 is a very sacred number. It's found all over the world in every religion. 7 days created, 6 days, and then 7th day he rested, etc., etc. So I do the 7 main chakras. Now the root chakra is located right in the space underneath between the genitals. So it's called the perineum. That's where it is. It's the root. That's where, if you are doing energy work, you pull the root in through there into the ground to ground yourself, or to push negative energy into Mom Gaia so she can take that energy, transmute it, and make it into something more beautiful. So when I work with the chakras, I see that root chakra like I just described, and then the sacrum is located right about here. So you know where your sacrum bone is. It's the 5 fused bones in your back that make up your lower back, just above the coccyx or tailbone. So that's where the sacrum is, or sacrum, however you want to pronounce it, where you are in the world. And so that one is definitely about creativity, reproduction.
You think about your womb.
Think about
there,
your womb,
sexual organs
all
in
that
there.
stuff connected with the bladder. So it's good at flushing things out as well through, connecting into the root chakra. So how I use it every day is as I had said in our introduction, I'm a Reiki master teacher. So I use the chakras every day in my morning ritual. I do a priming ritual, and then I raise my inner light. So I use Choku Rei, and I insert that programming into each chakra. So that way I raise my inner light and I open them up. Now Angela touched on that they are spinning tornadoes, basically, of energy coming out from both front and back. So the front has a specific purpose, and I'll let Angela explain that in a minute, and so does the back. Now, when we are working with our own chakras, we need to keep in mind the science aspect of it. So each chakra point, even if you do study the Hindu, which has 300 and some chakra points, they all connect with major nerve sites in the body. Okay, major nerves and artery pathways that kind of bundle up, and if you look at anatomy, you will actually see where each one of those are. If you can look at the nervous system well enough, you'll see. And actually, these are points during acupuncture that mean specific things. There's some here in the shoulder that are major ones. So there's actually some real science behind the chakras, and it's kind of amazing if you think about it, because the idea of this energy has been around since before we even knew what the human body looked like on the inside.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. And being able to open it up and unleash it. I know sometimes, well, actually, when I was, as far as practical application, when I was writing the curriculum for the chakra class, I had one point when I was just getting a little too scattered. So I was trying to focus, and other things kept popping up, and I was realizing that it wasn't other things popping up, it was me trying to figure out what else I wanted to focus on, because I really didn't feel like writing the curriculum right now. But I needed to write the curriculum right now. And so what I did was I actually meditated and I focused in on the chakras. And so I figured if I'm feeling scattered and I'm, kind of looking at a bunch of different things, my energy is scattered and looking in different directions. So I took it only took a couple of minutes, just focused in on my breath, and I saw the colors of each of the chakras opening up. I saw them within my mind spinning so that they're open. And then as soon as I finished with the crown chakra, I looked back down at my notebook and started writing it all out again. So it's just one way of, using it and an application that is really useful. So
Absolutely. So how do you know when your chakras are out of balance? For me and what I teach my students, I learned about the chakras first through the lesson plan, The Sevenfold Journey, which I recommend to any beginner who cannot take Angela's class. If you are not in the area at all, it's a really, they really touch on everything really well. It's easy to understand. And so when I feel that these are out of balance, it's usually due to some hardships that are going in life. And you can actually, so remember when Angela said rub your hands together and you feel that energy in the last episode, and you can feel that energy. It's the same with the chakra points. So you don't necessarily have to go to a practitioner of any kind. You can actually do it on yourself through prayer and meditation. So if you're feeling like your thoughts are scattered, it has to do with the head.
Right.
And there are multiple chakra points in the head, but the two main ones are what? The third eye and the crown. So maybe you're not seeing things from a specific perspective, and you're not connecting to your spiritual self, having a great relationship with spiritual self, so you can gain that clarity, so you can focus better on your perspective of what the task is at hand. So Angela, she did a meditation where she envisioned her crown chakra, her third eye chakra, and all the way down to balance herself out. She knew that was something she needed to do. If you are feeling totally outside of yourself and you're just like, what the heck is going on with me? It may have something to do, more than likely does, with your chakra. So start there. Always start from within. That's the only first place that you can start, and work your way out.
Exactly. Yes. And so the chakras are spinning wheels of light. Chakra is the Sanskrit word, but the definition of it is spinning wheel of light. And so they spiral in opposite directions, and I like to refer to it as they kiss at the spine. So they are like this tornado that spins and circles and spirals, and then it kisses right in at the spine in the center of you. So on the front of the body, you're going to see it going up on the right, across the top, down on the left, and it's just going to make this spiral vortex, and then it comes into a point at your spine. On the back, it's going to go up on the left, across the top, and down on the right, because it's the opposite direction on the back, kissing in at the spine. The back deals with action. So if you feel like you're needing to be more active, if you have all the thoughts, but the action is needing to be enhanced, then the back might be what you want to focus on. If you feel like your emotions are a bit out of balance, or you feel like you need some extra courage, or you need some extra strength, or you need some extra joy, then focus on the front of the body, because the front of the body is full of all of the emotions. So you have your emotion, your action. When we get into the class, we'll get into a lot more specifics, because we don't have a lot of time right now to make it a class on the video. But there are so many different things, the feminine sides and the masculine side. And
the direction that because sometimes your chakras can start spinning in the opposite direction. That has a meaning to it. And it actually, a lot of metaphysicians can pinpoint illness due to which way what's going on with your chakra points.
Exactly.
So
yes.
And that's part of one of the things that they use to help diagnose dis-ease within the body. So there's such a huge spectrum of things that the chakras actually do influence within our lives. And this is, again, something to kind of learn to go within and work your way out towards, like, the auras and then, all that stuff, and to really heal yourself. Now, I know that you are teaching this class. Now, what is it that, is there a simplistic, like, quick little way that you can explain the colors of
the rainbow? That's the easiest. So it's to go into the 9. So you have balance in all different ways. So the origin chakra at the feet is black. It has the energy of the asteroids and the meteorites, the origin. And then the crown is white. So you have those opposites that are, showing each other at opposite ends. That's what brings balance. It's that yin and yang. So you have the black at the feet and the white at the crown of the head. And then at the knees, the universal protection layer is tiger's eye. So you have the swirling, the copper, brown, black colors swirling at the knees. That's that universal protection. The angels are heavily influenced in that chakra. And then the opposite one, the third eye, is where you have the, it's like an alexandrite color or an indigo color.
Blue.
So, yep, that deep, deep blue sometimes turns to like a deep purple. It can kind of morph and twist. And so that's where you have that balance, the 2 chakras that have that flow of color. And then you have the rainbow. So you have red, orange, yellow, green. Some people see pink with the green. It depends with the heart chakra. Some people will say green for the heart, pink for the higher heart, blue, and then the indigo, purple, and then white. So you have that full spectrum of the rainbow. Makes it very easy to remember.
Absolutely.
And
so mine's a tiny bit different because we have 2 different learnings here. So any of you who took junior high or middle school, 7th grade or 8th grade, I don't know if, in my school I went to a little redneck school, so 7th and 8th grade was junior high. And so in Mr. C's class, he was teaching us the light spectrum. So in science, there's the light spectrum, so that's the spectrum of the rainbow. When a prism shines, those are the lights that you see because it has to do with the sun and the UVs and all that stuff. And so he came up with Roy G. Biv. So those are the colors of the 7 main chakras: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and the crown chakra can be white or violet.
Right.
So it all depends. As far as the crown chakra goes, it flicks, like she said, some of these can flick through a couple different colors, like the heart chakra, higher heart chakra, can flick through different colors depending on your connection. Now, does white mean that you have a stronger connection to spirit? No. There's a different kind of meaning, which we won't get into right now, but there's a little bit different meanings when it comes to these colors. But it's kind of interesting how it connects with the light spectrum that we see coming from the sun to create rainbows, and it goes through prisms and stuff like that. I always found that really fascinating and
absolutely. And just like numbers and just like patterns, we see these repeated throughout life all the time, whether it's in macro or microcosms. We see all of these patterns repeat. They repeat within ourselves too. And it's paying attention to those patterns that can tell us that we're really on track with certain things, it seems. So, or when we need to bring ourselves back into alignment. And it brings confirmation of the details of the study of it. It's that confirmation when you see how it's repeated throughout life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's so cool that each chakra has kind of like its own different meaning emotionally, physically. I mean, like they all have little things. Like the throat chakra is the easiest one to talk about because it's all about voicing things. It's all about communication. Expressing yourself.
I know that's one of them that I had worked on a couple of years ago, where I was feeling like I needed to learn to express myself more. Even if it was a negative situation, I didn't always want to have confrontation, or I didn't want to tell somebody if I disagreed with them or something like that. So I really focused a lot on the throat chakra, the color, a lot of techniques we'll cover in the class, but about opening it. And
Absolutely.
So that all flows so much better now since I've really focused on
even in the years that I've known you, when you and I first met, you were kind of a little quiet. And, a little bit to yourself, and, not saying that you weren't confident. That's not it. It was just, you were just very
the voice was.
You were just very kind of quiet. And like I said, I will forever say this. The first time I heard this woman say the F word, I about had a heart attack. It's because it was just like, she never expressed herself like that, and then she's just like, what the, and I was like, did I just hear that come out of your sweet little mouth? Seriously? I, on the other hand, have never had a problem with my throat chakra, so. Well, when I was a little kid, I was actually really shy when it came to adults, because I grew up in a very strict, not exactly great environment. And so I was always like, children are to be seen and not heard. Mm. So when my stepmother came into the picture when I was around 8 years old, she's like, don't be afraid to talk, you'll be fine. Uh-huh. And so after a few months, I just started, this personality just blossomed out of me. And then she's like, man, I wish I'd have never taught you how to talk.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
So it's just interesting. So Angela basically, she saw something that she felt really strongly she needed to focus on, so she focused on that specific chakra, and it changed and opened a whole world. Absolutely. Now you're teaching classes in front of everyone. We're doing this, the Earth Sky Center, and her and I want to start doing speeches and public speaking and motivation and stuff like that. And
that's where it's unique with chakras, because I was doing a lot of this. I had no problem with public speaking before, so you have to figure out like where your things are, because I was doing the public speaking, but it was that one-on-one. It's very specific, not wanting to talk about things that are negative with people, and or if you disagree with things. So sometimes you'll have specific issues within the chakra where you can kind of pinpoint and fine-tune that, and sometimes it'll be the whole thing too. So It really, it's all about getting to know yourself, learning what the function of it is for yourself, and then how to fully open it. Absolutely. And
so I have an issue with easily offending people. Which chakra is that?
That would be an overactive throat chakra. And that's where the chakras can be overactive or underactive. Right. Now, another example with that's interesting, and so that's where sometimes toning it down a little bit, bringing it back in so that it's in balance with the others. An interesting thing I see a lot with people that tend to be more focused on the spiritual and not so much on the physical is their crown chakra will be really open, and they'll have a lot of anxiety. So they'll feel like they're very spiritual, but maybe they have a hard time being on time or paying their bills or doing things that are on an earthly level, and they tend to have a lot of anxiety because it's being overactive here means you're underactive in other areas. So it's all about balance. It's not about opening everything to its highest maximum potential, but it's having the balance between all of them.
So below the heart is basically physical, 3D stuff here. Mm-hmm. Above the heart is all higher self, spiritual, all that stuff.
Right.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then of course the heart chakra bridges the gap between the two.
Exactly.
The two worlds, the two levels. I love that.
If you're interested in learning more, we are going to cover so much in the chakra classes. They are going on right now, Monday evenings. If you end up missing a class in the series, there will be an opportunity this winter to make up any classes that you miss. But they are going on right now, Monday nights from 6 to 7 at Right Natural Health Pharmacy. It's at 1260 South Linden Road. You can either call the pharmacy to RSVP or just go ahead and show up on Monday evenings. I do recommend you call because there are a couple of weeks where we are skipping certain weeks. Or you can find the full calendar at the event page as well. So you can go to our Earth and Sky Facebook page. Please remember to like the Mind, Body, Spirit page by Deanna Zayats as well, and our YouTube channel, Earth and Sky Center on YouTube, so you can stay up to date on everything on YouTube. You can choose the notifications that you want to get, and I look forward to seeing you with the chakra class. We are delving each week into just one chakra. So we're starting at the root chakra, and then we're going to go up through the crown, and then we're going to come back down to the origin and the universal protection chakra. So tons and tons and tons of information in that class. And
I'm not teaching any classes right now because I'm just booked with stuff. I'm learning. some new things. I'm taking an online course at the university in Sedona, Arizona, the Metaphysical University. So that's going to take up a good chunk of my time, expanding my knowledge so that way I can better assist people. Next year, though, I am planning on doing a lot of classes, and especially herb classes, because I'm an herbalist and I love plants. So that'll be coming up. But I'm finishing. What's the date today? I can't remember. Anyway, did the Earth and Sky 3-part series at on riding the emotional wave. So we did that, and I'm kind of going to be expanding on that a little bit on my YouTube channel, which we'll put into the information down below, so you can go check that out. It's a different aspect and a different way of understanding the Bible and how you can tie that into your everyday personal life. I understand that mainstream conservative Christianity teaches one way of how to look at the Bible, and a lot of it is literal. However, I have seen the Bible and I have studied it to exhaustion, and I feel that it's part of my creation here on planet to assist in the evolution of Christianity. So I'm going to be teaching some classes on different ways that you can look at the Bible for yourself, rather than just taking what your pastor or preacher does. It's learning how to kind of connect with that inner light and that spirit, the Christed energy, as I like to call it, so that way you can incorporate that into your life. So that's something to definitely watch the YouTube channel for. So please like, subscribe, share, click that little bell, so that way you get the notifications for all of our channels.
So many exciting things
I
coming up. A lot of
We're
great
two
stuff.
busy bees, and we like it that way.
Yes. Numerology class starts on the 21st, so I believe that's in just a couple days.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. So definitely go into that. I will probably be taking that class because I don't have a math brain, and I really need to understand numerology better, because I've been seeing a lot of numbers lately.
Yes.
So that's something significant, and we'll get into that on another day. So I hope you guys have a great Tuesday, and we love you very much, and we can't wait to see you till next time.
Yes. Have a great week.
All right. Mwah.